In today's digital world, the security of our online accounts has become more critical than ever. Every day, millions of people access a wide array of services: banking, social media, email, cloud storage, and more, using usernames and passwords. However, as cyber threats evolve and the number of data breaches rises, relying solely on a password is no longer sufficient to protect sensitive information. This is where two-factor authentication, 2FA, steps in as a powerful tool to enhance security. By requiring an additional step beyond just a password, 2FA significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access to accounts, making it an essential component of modern cybersecurity strategies. At its core, two-factor authentication is a security process in which users provide two different authentication factors to verify themselves. These factors generally fall into three categories: something you know, like a password or PIN; something you have, such as a smartphone, hardware token, or smart card; and something you are, biometrics like fingerprints or facial recognition. The basic principle is that even if one factor is compromised, the odds that an attacker can also obtain the second factor are drastically lower, thereby offering much stronger protection than single-factor authentication. The most common implementation of 2FA involves the combination of something you know, usually your password, with something you have, such as a temporary code generated by or sent to your mobile device. For example, after entering your password on a website, you may receive a one-time code via SMS, email, or an authentication app like Google Authenticator or Authy. Only after entering this code will you be granted access to your account. This extra step might seem minor, but it creates a significant barrier for attackers who may have stolen or guessed your password. The benefits of two-factor authentication are numerous and far-reaching. Firstly, it provides a robust defense against phishing attacks. Even if a user inadvertently reveals their password to a malicious actor through a phishing email or website, the attacker will still be unable to access the account without the second factor. This is particularly important as phishing remains one of the most effective tactics used by cybercriminals, often exploiting human psychology rather than technical vulnerabilities. Another key benefit is the mitigation of risks associated with password reuse. Despite widespread advice to use unique passwords for each service, many people continue to reuse the same or similar passwords across multiple sites. If one site is breached and passwords are leaked, attackers often attempt to use those credentials on other platforms, a technique known as credential stuffing. With 2FA enabled, even if your password is compromised elsewhere, your accounts remain protected because the attacker lacks the second authentication factor. Two-factor authentication also plays a vital role in protecting sensitive data in professional environments. Organizations handle vast amounts of confidential information, from financial records to customer data. A single compromised account can lead to devastating data breaches, regulatory fines, reputational damage, and loss of customer trust. By implementing 2FA, businesses can greatly reduce the likelihood of such incidents, fulfilling both legal obligations and industry best practices for data protection. From a user perspective, 2FA offers peace of mind. Knowing that your accounts are protected by an additional layer of security allows you to engage with digital services more confidently. As cybercrime becomes increasingly sophisticated, users are seeking solutions that balance convenience with security. While no system is foolproof, 2FA represents a practical and effective way to dramatically reduce the risk of unauthorized access. Implementing two-factor authentication can take several forms, depending on the needs of users and organizations. The most widely used methods include SMS-based codes, time-based one-time passwords, TOTP, generated by apps, hardware tokens, push notifications, and biometric verification. Each method has its advantages and trade-offs, and understanding these is crucial for choosing the right solution. SMS-based 2FA is perhaps the most familiar to everyday users. After entering a password, a user receives a text message containing a short, time-sensitive code which must be entered to complete the login process. While this method is easy to use and doesn't require additional apps or devices, it is not without vulnerabilities. Attackers can exploit weaknesses in the mobile network, such as SIM swapping or interception of messages, to gain access to the second factor. As a result, security experts often recommend more secure alternatives where possible. Authentication apps, such as Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, or Authy, generate time-based one-time passwords that refresh every 30 seconds. These apps are tied to the user's device and do not rely on cellular networks, making them more resistant to interception. When logging in, the user opens the app and enters the current code displayed for the relevant account. This method is widely supported, convenient, and more secure than SMS-based codes, though it does require the user to have their device available. Hardware tokens represent another layer of security, particularly in high-security environments. These physical devices, often resembling USB keys or small fobs, generate one-time codes or use cryptographic protocols to authenticate users. YubiKey and RSA Secure ID are well-known examples. Hardware tokens are highly secure because they cannot be easily duplicated or intercepted remotely. However, they come with the added responsibility of keeping the device safe and accessible. Losing the token can lock a user out of their account, so backup mechanisms are essential. Push notifications offer a blend of security and convenience. When a user attempts to log in, a prompt is sent to their registered mobile device, asking them to approve or deny the login attempt. This method eliminates the need to manually enter codes and provides immediate feedback in case of unauthorized access attempts. Push-based 2FA is popular among services like Duo Security and many banking apps, as it streamlines the authentication process while maintaining strong security. Biometric authentication, such as fingerprint scanning, facial recognition, or voice identification, is increasingly being integrated as a second factor, especially on smartphones and modern laptops. Biometrics are unique to each individual and difficult to replicate, providing a high level of security. However, they are not infallible, as certain biometric systems can be tricked by sophisticated attackers, and concerns about privacy and data storage must be carefully managed. For organizations looking to implement 2FA, planning and execution are critical. The first step is to assess the specific security needs and risk profile of the organization. High-risk sectors such as finance, healthcare, and government may require stronger forms of 2FA, such as hardware tokens or biometrics, while others may opt for app-based or SMS-based solutions for ease of use. Next, it is important to select 2FA solutions that integrate seamlessly with existing systems and workflows. Many cloud services, such as Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, and AWS, offer built-in support for various 2FA methods. For custom applications, developers can leverage APIs and SDKs from authentication providers to add 2FA functionality. User experience should be a top consideration. Overly complex authentication processes can lead to frustration, increased support requests, and even reduced adoption rates. Communication and training are essential components of a successful 2FA rollout. Users must understand why 2FA is being implemented, how it works, and what steps they need to take to enroll and use the system effectively. Providing clear instructions, FAQs, and responsive support channels can help smooth the transition and address any concerns or technical issues that arise. Backup and recovery options are also vital. Users may lose access to their second factor due to lost devices, hardware failure, or other unforeseen circumstances. Organizations should establish secure procedures for account recovery, such as backup codes, alternative authentication methods, or help desk verification to ensure users can regain access without compromising security. Monitoring and continuous improvement are necessary to maintain the effectiveness of 2FA. Cyber threats are constantly evolving, and attackers may develop new techniques to bypass authentication systems. Regularly reviewing authentication logs, analyzing failed login attempts, and updating security policies can help organizations stay ahead of emerging risks. Periodic user feedback can also identify pain points and opportunities for enhancement. Despite its many advantages, two-factor authentication is not a silver bullet. It should be viewed as one component of a comprehensive security strategy. Strong, unique passwords remain important, as does educating users about phishing, social engineering, and safe online practices. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, which adds additional layers of verification, may be warranted in especially sensitive contexts. Encryption, regular software updates, and robust access controls all play a role in building a secure digital environment. As technology continues to advance, the future of authentication is likely to evolve beyond traditional 2FA. Passwordless authentication methods, such as FIDO2 and WebAuthn, are gaining traction. These standards leverage public key cryptography and device-based authentication to eliminate the need for passwords altogether, offering even greater security and convenience. However, until such methods achieve universal adoption, 2FA remains a critical line of defense against cyber threats. In summary, two-factor authentication represents a practical, effective, and increasingly necessary measure to safeguard online accounts and sensitive information. Its ability to thwart a wide range of attacks, from phishing to credential stuffing makes it invaluable for both individuals and organizations. By understanding the various methods of implementation and best practices for deployment, users can enjoy enhanced security with minimal disruption to their daily routines. As cyber risks continue to grow, adopting 2FA is not just a recommendation. It is a fundamental requirement for anyone serious about protecting their digital life. To truly appreciate the transformative impact of 2FA, it is helpful to consider real-world scenarios where it has prevented significant breaches. For instance, many high-profile companies have credited 2FA with stopping attackers, even after employee credentials were leaked in phishing campaigns. In the realm of personal security, countless individuals have avoided identity theft and financial loss simply because a would-be attacker could not bypass the second authentication step. These examples underscore the tangible value that 2FA brings to the table. Moreover, the adoption of 2FA is increasingly being mandated by regulatory bodies and industry standards. The Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS, for example, requires multi-factor authentication for certain types of access to cardholder data. Similarly, the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, encourage or require strong authentication measures to protect sensitive personal information. Compliance with these regulations not only avoids legal penalties, but also demonstrates a commitment to safeguarding customer trust. One challenge that organizations and users often face is balancing security with usability. Too many or overly complicated authentication steps can frustrate users and lead to resistance or workarounds that undermine security. The key is to implement 2FA in a way that minimizes friction while maximizing protection. For example, adaptive authentication systems can assess the risk level of each login attempt and adjust the required factors accordingly. Low-risk activities may require only a password, while high-risk actions, such as accessing sensitive data from a new device or location, trigger full 2FA. Accessibility is another important consideration. Not all users have access to smartphones, reliable cellular networks, or biometric hardware. Organizations should offer multiple 2FA options to accommodate diverse user needs and circumstances. Similarly, care should be taken to ensure that users with disabilities can easily participate in 2FA processes. Inclusive design principles and thorough testing can help identify and address potential barriers. Education remains a cornerstone of successful 2FA implementation. Users must be made aware of the threats they face and the ways 2FA helps protect them. Regular security awareness training, clear communication about changes, and ongoing support make it easier for users to embrace 2FA and use it effectively. Encouraging users to enable 2FA on all accounts that support it, especially those containing sensitive or financial information, can have a profound impact on overall security posture. The role of 2FA in the broader context of digital transformation is also worth noting. As more services move to the cloud and remote work becomes commonplace, the traditional boundaries of corporate networks are dissolving. Employees, contractors, and partners access resources from a variety of locations and devices, increasing the attack surface. 2FA helps secure these decentralized environments by ensuring that only authorized individuals can access critical systems, regardless of where they are located. For developers and IT professionals, integrating 2FA into applications and infrastructure is becoming easier thanks to a wealth of tools, libraries, and third-party services. Open standards like TOTP and HOTP, as well as protocols like OAuth and SAML, provide interoperable frameworks for implementing 2FA across a range of platforms. Cloud-based identity providers such as Okta, Azure Active Directory, and OneLogin offer turnkey solutions for adding 2FA to enterprise environments. By leveraging these resources, organizations can deploy strong authentication quickly and efficiently. Looking ahead, the evolution of authentication technologies promises even greater security and user convenience. The rise of passwordless authentication, which uses device-based credentials or biometrics as the primary means of access, may eventually render traditional passwords obsolete. Until then, 2FA serves as a vital bridge, offering enhanced protection without sacrificing usability. As attackers become more sophisticated, the continued adoption and refinement of 2FA will be essential in staying one step ahead. In conclusion, two-factor authentication stands as a cornerstone of modern cybersecurity. By requiring users to present two distinct forms of identification, it dramatically reduces the risk of unauthorized access, data breaches, and identity theft. Its benefits extend from individual users seeking to protect personal accounts to large organizations safeguarding critical assets and complying with regulatory requirements. While challenges remain in terms of usability, accessibility, and user education, the advantages of 2FA far outweigh the drawbacks. As part of a layered security approach, 2FA empowers individuals and organizations alike to navigate the digital landscape with greater confidence and resilience. Adopting and promoting 2FA is not just a best practice. It is a crucial step toward a safer, more secure digital future.